Hi everyone, or the one person that's watching, that's myself. I have an unboxing. Let me just get set up for a second. I just got a package in the mail from Profiles Backstage, and I wanted to unbox it to show you what I got. It's not a lot, just some odds and ends that I needed. For anyone that doesn't know, Profiles Backstage has a monthly subscription, and it comes with a whole bunch of cute stuff. So if you're ever interested in getting a monthly subscription, go check out Profiles Backstage. And if anyone in the US is near Georgia, or if you know any nail techs in Georgia, take a screenshot of this. Southernly Sweet Nails is doing their first ever nail carnival. So it's a networking event, trade show, everything like that. And that's going to be in August. Okay, so I got a little thing of pasties. This is their decals. I think they threw this one in. And it's cute, like, summer decals. Like the palm leaves and the flowers. It's actually really cute. I like that one. Add that to my ever-growing collection. Okay. As I said, I didn't get a lot. Okay. First up, I got a whole thing of foils. And these are just the newsflash ones. I've been wanting to get these for a hot minute, so I finally decided to buy them. And they look like this. If anyone wants to see me swatch these out, let me know in the comments if you want to see any of these swatched out. Did I get to? Okay, it's got to. Okay. As I said, I didn't get a lot. It's just stuff I needed. So pretty much everything I got were the foils and everything from the Babe line. Hi! So if anyone doesn't know, with Profiles Backstage, their Babe line is HEMA-free and it's also DIHEMA-free. And this is what I'm wearing on my right hand right now. This is the color Pink Fire, which looks like this. So this is their potted hard gel, which they call it a sculpture gel. And it comes in two different sizes. So you either have a 15 ml or a 50 ml pot, and that's the size difference. So if you're just starting out with hard gel, or if you need anything that's HEMA-free, definitely give this a try. They have a lot of colors. I do have an unboxing when I first got this on my YouTube channel. So if you want to see more of the colors that they have, go check this out. I got the milky white. Let me put gloves on. Only because I am practicing competition pink and whites right now, and I need a milky white. Let's get this open. Or scissors, something. Okay. I keep forgetting if there's an easy pull tab on these things. Okay. Oops. Why are these never easy to open up? So one thing with hard gel that I'm not a fan of is that it's so hard to freaking open these containers. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think Profiles is available in the UK. Does anyone else not like opening these just as much as me? This is why I decided to put gloves on. Stuck. These are stuck. Ew. Okay, hold on. I'm sticky. I'm sticky. Also, just in case if you don't stick around for the whole video, I will download this and put this onto my YouTube channel, so don't forget. Okay, let me get a swatch stick to show you this, because it actually looks really nice. Whenever I swatch any of my gels, I actually swatch it, instead of on the top side here, I like to swatch it on the underside, especially if it's like a glitter gel. It doesn't look as like lumpy and bumpy. So this hard gel is a medium viscosity, and it kind of stays where you put it. It doesn't have a tendency to run a lot. So you can see it's not really moving that much. And I will say that this is definitely very beginner friendly. It is a perfect milky white color. Okay. I use an orange wood stick just. Oh, I know. But that is one coat right over there. I'm gonna pop this in the lamp. And if you let me, you can't see this one that much. Hold on. Okay, so what I mean by this is a nice like medium viscosity. If I hold this here, you can see how fast it's going, but it's not moving insanely fast, and it does stay where you put it. I take a drill. Yes, I probably should have done that before I peeled it open. I keep forgetting you can do that. I've seen some people do that with sanding bands instead of ruining like a carbide bit. But honestly, as I said, I just keep forgetting to do that. Yes, it self-levels really nice. Hold on. Okay. On this white tip, that way you can see it better. This is from Profiles Backstage. This is their hard gel that they call a sculpture gel. Let's move. Sticky. Hold on. Sticky alert. Hold on. This is why I put gloves on. If I don't clean that off, I'm going to stick my hand in there. The part that's not covered with a glove. I do have a discount code for Profiles, so let me show you what I want to show you about how this self-levels, and then I'll tell you my discount code. Okay, so I have a variety of different hard gels. I have really thick hard gels that don't self-level at all, and I have really thin viscosity hard gels. So I use, depending on what rewind. Depending on what I'm doing is depending on what I will grab. If that makes sense. I'm going to do a little bit of a slip layer. I'm using this white tips, that way you can actually see this better. So a slip layer, if anyone doesn't know, will tell the gel where to go. So it won't flood your side walls and your proximal nail fold area. I'm going to go back in with a bigger bead, and I kind of twirl the brush. like this. I find if I break it against the jar, then the rim here gets flooded with more gel than I want it to. So if I roll the bead out here, and I always move it in tiny little circles, and I go side by side and just bring that down. But if I leave that there for a second, while I answer some of your questions, you're going to see how much this moves. The brand that I use at the minute has one. I don't know of any UK brands off. I don't know of any. You said you're in the UK. How can I not think of any UK companies? And I follow UK nail techs. Why is my mind going completely blank? I'm getting into dual forms. Do you ever use them? Yes. I'm just getting into dual forms. Check out my YouTube channel. It's the same name as here, Delia's Nail Studio. And I have, I think, 1 or 2 videos on there already. Go check it out. But while we're talking, you can see how nice this gel self-leveled. And if you look with the line of light, it's pretty straight. I wouldn't have to like alter this or fix this. But this is, and it didn't move fast. It didn't move too slow. So something like this, as I said, is very beginner friendly. I'm rebranding this year before officially starting my business. I'm going with nail order. Yep. That's a nice self levels. Let's put this in here for now. And what I like to do with my swatch stick, since this came out of the lamp, I do this. So as you saw, I swatch all of my stuff underneath instead of on top. That way it doesn't give a bulky look to it. I then go in with my matte top coat. And I put a matte top coat underneath. So that way the top, you'll have a shiny look, and underneath you will have a matte look. That way, if your clients want to see possibly what it looks like matte and not shiny, you have those options. Okay, so I got 2 of those pots. I did get a brand new matte top coat and the no wipe from this line. And this is a color protector. So those are 2 new bottles that I got. Especially when you're swatching glitter. That's why I really like doing it underneath. And if I used to use acrylic all the time, and that's why I swatch underneath the swatch stick. Because with acrylic, when you go to swatch it on top, you have to end up filing the swatch stick. You don't want it to look too bumpy or too lumpy, so that's why I ended up swatching everything underneath. Okay. So the name of this color is Amy. I believe they do ship to Canada. Or I don't know if they have a Canadian distributor. Okay, so this is my discount code for profiles. It is all capital letters. DELIAROCKS. And I'll leave that right up there for anyone who wants to use my discount code. And the last thing I got, I just got 3 colors in the Babe line. And I was doing this one first. I got sidetracked. The first one is called Amy. This is another milky white. A little bit more on the white side of milky white. Let me get my swatch sticks. Yeah, I can see how nice and milky white it is, just like with the hard gel. And this self-levels just as nice. And that is 1 coat of the color Amy. Okay, next color I bought is called Haley. I was looking for a neutral color. Ooh, that's a nice color. Hold on, I think I need the... Okay, let's try this again. It's a nice color. It's like a slight like pink or peach undertone to it. I like to use these colors a lot if I'm doing, say, like nail art on top of it, like foils or stamping. So that way it helps makes everything on top pop a little bit more. Okay, and that is 1 coat. And then the last one is a glitter, and it is called Adeline. And this is why I like to swatch my stuff underneath. Because this glitter is not, you can see it's not completely fine. It does have a little bit of like chunky glitter in there. It's nice silver. And that is that. The color Adeline. It's a nice silver color to it. Yep, that is this one. I am put my matte top coat on this. Actually, I'm gonna do 1 more coat of this color. Hi, Chris. I haven't been live in a hot minute, so I figured I'd jump on while I was unboxing everything I got from Profiles Backstage. And that is with the 2nd coat of Amy. I will... If you guys can only see how my desk looks right now, I'm using my lamp that's in the opposite corner of where I am, because the lamp that's closest to me, I'm working on my competition nails for London, so I can't directly use that one. And I feel like I'm a mess right now with this live behind the scenes, and you guys can't even see it. And that is the 2nd coat of this one. Color Haley. And I think this one, I'm just going to keep it 1 coat. Ah, no! Oh, mother of hell. I keep dropping things. Okay. So this glitter, as I said before, I like to do a matte top coat on the back. But with glitters, I always do shiny instead of matte. Because unless it's completely like full coverage glitter, sometimes being that it has like a sheer undertone to it, the matte on this side here will look really weird. And do the matte top coat for, nope, yes. Okay, put everything back in the lamp. Okay, and then if anyone wants to see me swatch these, the foils that I got, let me know in the comments. Just a small little order, nothing major. Now, here's the good question. Do I have room in my book to put these? I don't think I have any more room. It's where I keep all of my foils. Yeah, no, I don't have room in that one. And this one? No, I'm gonna need another one of these. Yay. So the two foil gels that I like to use, I like to use actual gel for the foil gel instead of like a glue. Yes, these, I'm like a bull in a china shop right now. These little books that I bought them from Shein, but I didn't realize that I'd fill these up pretty quickly. As I was saying before, the foil gel that I like to use is an actual like gel, not a glue. And both of these are HEMA free. This one is from Joe Hens and this is from Red Iguana. Both of these work really well. Okay. Which foil would everyone like to see? Or is it just let me pick at random? Yeah, I prefer a gel base with my foil gel. I've tried the ones that are just glue and not a gel base, and I've always had trouble. Okay, let's go with this one that has that right in the top corner. Okay, so and it's stuck in my glove. Okay, so when it comes to foil, you want to figure out how much you want to use and where in the foil you're going to use it. I'm just going to grab from the end, and instead of going straight, I'm going to go on a slight diagonal. So what I want to do is I'm going to almost figure out where I want to cut this. I don't want to use this. I'm going to use this right over here. I'm just going to cut that. I'll use this smaller now so you can see this. Okay. Things are sticking. Okay. Let me zoom back down. So both of these foil gels are a 60-second cure. I'm just gonna we'll grab this one. I'm gonna put this on the nail. You don't want it too thin or too thick. And make sure you get the edges when you're using a foil gel. And I'm going to pop this in the lamp for 60 seconds. I feel like when you're waiting for one sole thing in the lamp, I feel like I'm waiting, like the Jeopardy song, you know, do, 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 do. I feel like that's always playing in my head. Why is 60 seconds always the longest thing? Okay, so when this is done, the one trick I've learned with foil gel is don't put the foil on the nail right away. Let this cool down and give it at least like 30 seconds. It'll still be sticky, but it won't be warm. Now with this foil, you can tell that the back side you want to transfer this on is over here, and the shiny side is going up. So now that I gave this time to cool down, I'm gonna pop this on, and you go from center out. Oops. And then when you get this, slowly peel this up if you need to. Put it back down. You do that. And this is why I said in the beginning, make sure you're capping your free edge, so that way it fully wraps around. If you miss a section, just do this. And then when you're done, there you go. And there was literally like the tiniest bit that got left behind over here, but this is just a swatch stick. If I was doing this on a client, I would do almost a coordinating color underneath. Say like the new color I just swatched out like this, I would have, or something a little bit more like a brown tone. I'd have it underneath, that way if you do have anything get missed, you don't have to go back on and try to line it up, especially with something like this that has words. Now with full coverage foil, you can do one of two different things. You could put a base coat on top of here. So since we have a bunch of Profiles products, you can do the base coat from the Babe line right over this, because remember, foil is shiny, has a shiny surface. Gel does not like to stick to a shiny surface. So if you go in right with your top coat, that's why you might have chipping with your foil. So I use one of two different things. I use from the Babe line, the bonding base coat, or from Tracy Vincent from Ladybug. This is her line. This is the metallic glaze. This is also HEMA-free, and this acts like a base coat, just like this from Profiles Backstage. But this is only made for nail foil and chrome. So this is not like a base coat like this that you would use under products. So either one of these would work. And that way you have that tacky layer to put your top coat over everything. I hope that little trick helps. this color, I forgot my top coat. The only thing I do different is wipe the back of the foil with alcohol. I've done that in the past. I think it depends on what foil. Like I find with these, if I wipe the back, I don't like how it transfers. But if it's one of the solid colors, like this, depending on how the back looks, sometimes I'll wipe these. I remember when foil first came out, you had to wipe the back of the foils every 2 seconds, otherwise it wouldn't adhere properly. But I like this one because it has like that old time, like if you ever look at like old newspapers for those advertisements, this is that vibe that it gives me. Nope, come. You know, sticky gloves and foil do not work well together. Okay. Does anyone want to see another foil? Yes, that vintage ad. Honestly, I bought this because with Nail Olympia London coming up, one of the categories I entered, I may or may not use this, so that's why I bought this. So I have the option. But that's all I'm going to say. Because, Chris, I know you've been in competition, so you know how, like, secretive, like, you can't say too much. Sure, I can show you another one. I just applied this one, and I will show you again. I also have how-to videos in my YouTube channel. So I said at the beginning of this live, if you don't stay for the whole thing, I will upload this TikTok live to my YouTube channel. Completely unedited. Okay, so the first one, I used the Red Iguana Transfer Foil Gel. And this one, I'll use the one from Joe Hens. And both of these are HEMA-free. Let's go down a little bit. You're going to do a thin coat of your transfer gel, not too thick, not too thin. Okay, once you get that on, I'm going to put this in the lamp for 60 seconds. And this up here is my discount code for Profiles Backstage. Okay, so let's pick out another one. Let's do this. I think it's giving me that, you know what? I gotta take these gloves off. Oh. Foil gel and gloves do not mix. Ooh, this one is cool. It's giving that, pop art. Yes, that's what I was thinking. I like this one. That looks so cool. Okay. I'm gonna use the end of this. Let's do this one. Okay, so I'm gonna cut off a portion that I want to use. So go right around here. Put this to the side. Okay, as I said before, when it comes to foil gel, when you take it out of the lamp, let it cool down for at least like 30 seconds. Just treat this almost like you would a top coat. So whenever you do a top coat, before you put your cuticle oil on or anything, you always let it cool down for at least 30 seconds, especially if that top coat has a tacky layer to it. So I find that with foil gel, if I let it cool down then it'll adhere properly and I won't have any trouble. So now that I let this cool down, I want to figure out how I want this to lay down. And I want to get a little bit of that eye, even if I don't get all of it. So I'm going to go right around like this, and you work from the center going out. And if you need to make a little cut in the foil in the top, so when you're going back by your cuticle area over here, just go in with the scissors and do something like that. So that way when you get into this area, everything will lay flat. And I find using my hands better than a silicone tool works better with transfer foil. And then you slowly pick this up. And if you need to fix it, you can see right over there, I have a little missing. I'm going to go back. So can I use my top coat? A top coat is not going to be as sticky as foil gel. Foil gel is a lot more stickier than a top coat that has an inhibition layer. This is, I can't say that word, specific. Oh, screw it. This is made for foil. Oh, there's always that one word in the English language that you can't pronounce, no matter how hard you try. Yeah, no. So once, okay, I'm going to peel this away. And see how up here it's a little missing? So I'm going to line that back up. And back over here is slightly messed up. Yep, a little bit more. Yeah, this one's giving me more trouble than it usually does. I don't know why. Usually have no problem with both of them. Okay, yeah, this one I'm having tons of trouble with. I don't know why. I'm going to do this again, but with the other foil gel that I used the first time. Let's go back to this. Let's cut another piece off and say somewhere around there. What kind of foil are you using? Do you want something that's more full coverage, or do you want something that's more like sporadic? So you have bits and pieces of it here and there. If you're doing something like that where you don't want it full coverage and you want it to look choppy, or what's the word? My words are not wording. Abstract. Then you could use like the solid foils like this. You can use that directly on the tacky layer of your gel polish, and that'll still adhere. But if you want something more full coverage like this or this, then that's when I would grab a foil gel. Okay, round 2. I am in United States. I'm in New Jersey. Okay, so what side is this? Is there a top side to this or no? Okay. So let's pop this back on. And as I said before, we go from center out. And then we just pick it up and double check. Need a little bit over here. You can see when the foil starts to transfer, you can see, sorry, I am watching from, thank you. I don't want to really butcher that. Is Zambia? Did I say that correctly? Please let me know if I said that correctly. Thank you. Okay. So this should be just a little bit here. And a little bit more up here. And this one worked out a lot better. There you go. Now, as I said before, when I did this one, I like to do sometimes, depending on the foil, a coordinating color underneath. But with something like this, that it has so many different colors to it, then I would do, say, like a milky white, something like this, underneath a color like this one. So if I were to do a milky white underneath this, then anything that is slightly patchy that didn't go through, that milky white will help the foil pop that much more. If no one has any other questions, I'm going to log off. I literally only came on this live to show you what I got from Profiles Backstage. And I will see everyone later. Bye.